Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome to Keeping You Lifted, the show that encourages, uplifts, and inspires with your host, Apostle Hilda Stephens-Antione, featuring special guests and engaging topics on the second and the fourth Monday at 6 p.m. on Facebook Live and YouTube. You don't want to miss one show. The question here now, are you ready to be uplifted?
Good evening, and welcome back to Keeping You Lifted, that show that encourages, inspires, and uplifts. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on the broadcast. I'm so happy to be back, and we got a power-packed show. Thank you for your prayers, your comments, and everything. I'm encouraged to continue to do the show. And we have a wonderful guest tonight. I hope you had a wonderful day. You're blessed. And we're going to learn together about some information that is much needed in this day and time. Yes, it is 9/11/23. And so what a perfect time to come back and talk on this subject and to engage and to just enlighten us. I'm so happy to be back. I'm thrilled to be back with Keeping You Lifted. I'm your host and your sister in Christ, Apostle Hilda. And I'm telling you, we are here to have some fun. We are here to learn together. We are here to be blessed of the Lord. We are talking with people from all walks of life. And today, I'm telling you, I'm so proud, and I hope I can keep it together because I have one of my daughters to open up the first show, and I'm getting ready to bring her in. And tonight we're going to learn together what we need to know about mental health. And in this day and time, we all need to be able to rely on some great information. So I'm bringing in my guest, and my guest tonight is Dr. Michell Corbett Brown. Welcome to Keeping You Lifted, Dr. Brown.
Well, hi, Apostle. How are you?
I am doing great. I'm so happy to have you to open up our first broadcast. I'm so happy that we are able to come back and do Keeping You Lifted to inspire people, to encourage them. And so this is going to be a power-packed show. I just want everyone to know I'm so proud of my daughter. I know it was a difficult time to her at times, but she made it, and God get the glory. I just want to give you a little information about Dr. Michell Corbett Brown. Michelle, I'm telling you, she has a long list, girl, but it is great. She has a BA in psychology from UNC Chapel Hill, a master's of education in special education cross from Grand Canyon University. She has a master of science in professional counseling from Grand Canyon University, a doctorate of education in community care and counseling, marriage and family counseling from Liberty University, and currently she's licensed clinical mental health counselor, LCHHC. I better read all these letters behind it. Exceptional education child teacher. And her business. She's the owner of Hope and Harmony Transformation Council, PLLC. And I'm telling you, that's a mouthful, but I'm so happy to have my daughter here to help us out, to give us some powerful packed information. And so, what can I say? But I'm just totally blessed to have Dr. Michell Brown. So we're getting ready to kick off this program tonight. As you can see, as I said before, she is the owner of Hope and Harmony Transformation Council. Well, Dr. Brown, we'll get ready to ask you some questions. And so we're going to have a little role play too.
Okay.
So I said, you know how we do. So this is no stranger to how we work and how we roll together. I can't say it enough. I'm just so proud. I'm trying to keep myself together. So Dr. Brown, First of all, just tell us a little something about yourself. I read your credentials, your education, but just tell us about Dr. Michelle Brown Core.
Well, I, I am a teacher and a counselor. And being a counselor or therapist, as some people like to be referred as, I just like helping people. I like to help them see things in a new light and just realize that they can move forward and quit thinking that everything is hopeless. And I mean, that's really it, because I remember growing up and was as a child was thinking, oh my God, I'm just nobody feels like I do, and just feeling so bad and used to want to be a counselor. And then once I left to go to school, then I got my BA in psychology and just kind of just like, okay, I got that. And just kind of just live life. Had a lot of things going on, but I like to credit my former principal, Flicker Bateman, because at that time when she wanted me to go back to school, I finally allowed myself to hear people say, go back to school. I didn't know at the time that me going back to school for teaching was going to lead me to here. And once I finished the teaching degree, one of the deacon in the church, Deacon McAden, he said, Michelle, God said you have to go back to school. I said, who? I don't know about all of that. But once once he said it again, then I was like, okay, I'm going back, because I'm the type of person that if I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I didn't have time to think about money. I didn't have time to think about doing the schoolwork, because at that time Tiff and Nika was both in school. It's just like bam, just go ahead on back. And then I thought that was the end. And then he said, came back again and said, God said that you got to go back for a doctorate. Who? I don't need to do all of that. I said, I'm good now. And he kept saying it. And I said, okay, God, I am going back. And once again, I didn't pay attention to the money. I didn't look at anything. I just said, okay, I'm going to do it. And from the very beginning, I always saw the light at the end of the tunnel. And I knew that was God from the beginning to the end. Yes, I had some crying moments because statistics was kicking my behind. I couldn't do it at first. And I went in the bathroom just boo-hoo. And then it was just like, okay, now shut all that up and go ahead and get back to doing the work. And I went ahead and did what I was supposed to do. And look at me now, Dr. Brown. I just went forward.
Well, congratulations, Dr. Brown. I'm telling you. And as she said before, she has two children. That is Shanika and Tiffany. And tell us, Tiffany is where? And you're a proud grandma. So give us a little information.
Tiffany, yes, Tiffany, who's 32. She's in Columbia, South Carolina. And she's married. And she's a daycare teacher, preschool teacher. So, and she had my first grandbaby April 19th this year. And then you have Shanika, who is 25. And I want you to know, Shanika is right there with me. So you might want to say that this is mine and her business practice, because she helps set it up. She helps guide me, and she'll let me know that she's my business coach to make certain that I'm saying it right, doing it right. She will ask me for my opinion, but she already know how she wants to do it. So yeah, and she is a social worker and a therapist. So she's falling right behind my steps. Tiff is falling behind my steps with the teaching part. So we got it going on like that. I don't know what Mila gonna do, but hey, she's little Michelle, so I don't know. She might come on out and be that doctor too.
Well, so wonderful, because it is so great to know that you got so much support from your family and your church family and friends and everyone. You know, you touch so many people's lives, and we're so proud of you for all the things that God has allowed you to do, and you got there. And so now we're at this point that we have you tonight on Keeping You Lifted because we want people to know about Hope and Harmony Transformation Counseling. And I'm telling you, you will be glad that you tuned in, or you can watch it later. But now, Dr. Brown, we're going to talk about a typical day. You just got the phone call. So this person is searching for a therapist. And so they discover Hope and Harmony Transformation. Give us a rundown of some of the things that you would do to help this person feel comfortable that they are at the right place.
Yes, I do a free 15-minute consultation call. And my goal is to, one, see what they are hoping to accomplish, their purpose in wanting therapy. And I found out that it's good for me to go ahead and find out upfront about insurance. If they have insurance and if they would like to stay with me, then for them to give me their insurance information along with their date of birth, because I used to go ahead once they say they want to move forward. I would send them the forms they needed to fill out. But I found out that sometimes by the time I check their insurance, then it comes up that either they out of network or sometimes have to pay a copay. So, and I like for people to know up front what they may have to pay, because that helps determine for them if they want to move forward and everything. And once we establish that and just talk about moving forward and finding out when they want to schedule, then I let them know, okay, I will send you the forms, who it's coming from, because it'll come under Hope and Harmony Transformation Counseling, so they can look out for it in their email, and let them know to go ahead and fill out those papers. And then depending on the person, because I've had some clients who already had a diagnosis. So then I said, well, our first one can just be a regular session. But if they do not have a diagnosis, then I will do an assessment with them. Because when you take insurance, you have to have a diagnosis if you want to get paid. So, and I let them know that up front, because I want to be transparent with the people who decide to choose me and everything. So I have to be clear with that.
And so once you have all this information, you got the information, you're trying to see if this person is a match for you, or this person decided, okay, I believe I found a good therapist. You did all the paperwork. What are some of the questions that now take place?
Well, some of the questions mostly go from me to them, because in the forms, one of the forms they fill out is a standard questionnaire where they can break down even further why they want therapy. Like I have some, like sometimes when we do the phone call, they will go ahead and just jump right on the end and say, okay, I'm feeling anxious about this, I'm overwhelmed, or I'm depressed, whatever the case may be. But once they fill out that form, they get a little bit more detail, which helps me to start off with that assessment and ask more questions to bring out, okay, you saying this, so help me to understand. And with that, with an assessment, it goes into asking about symptoms for depression, symptoms for anxiety, and symptoms for phobias and everything else, delusions, like just to see what their diagnosis will be. And
Okay,
then,
go ahead.
so yeah, just making certain that we get all that type of information, because sometimes the questionnaire will ask about, the assessment will ask about whether or not they've been in a mental hospital before, and whether or not they had outpatient treatment before. And I've had some who would tell me that they have tried it before, and they want to, and I ask what went wrong. Sometimes they'll just say they just didn't connect, or their counselor moved away, so they're just trying to find a new one. So, and I said, well, let's just give it a shot to see where things are, and we work it out.
Okay, so after you start this assessment, you say you send them this form and you have different questions on the assessment form for them to fill out. What are some of the things that you really look at, like, especially with if a person is coming to you, how do you feel about their relationship with their parents and how they get along with other people? Just bring us to that. So when people call you, I know you have this form, but I'm kind of playing the devil advocate. I'm the client now, and so I'm trying
Okay.
to figure out. My question would be to you. First of all, I probably would say to you is, uh, Dr. Michelle, could you just please tell me how long you've been a therapist? If I didn't, I'm quite sure if I didn't read the information in your bio, so I would like to say, well, how long you been a therapist?
I've been a therapist for going on 7 years now.
You've been a therapist for 7 years. And so I got that. So I'm coming back and I'm asking, okay, Dr. Brown, I heard what you said. You got my insurance. We seem like we're a good match. But I want to know, what is your approach to my treatment? I got all kinds of phobic. I'm anxious all the time. I get angry quickly. And I know sometimes that when a client is coming to you, they can be so overwhelmed. So how do you kind of just get them to that place to get still, to calm them down?
Well, one of the things I do when I see that they are anxious, I just tell them, okay, let's just breathe. I say, calm down, let's just breathe. I say, we're going to work together. I said, you're not doing anything by yourself. I said, we work jointly. I said, I'm not telling you what you have to do. I said, because truly counseling, all these interventions and everything, I said, that's all trial and error. I said, we won't know what works until we put something into place. And I said, we can't just do it for a second and be like, oh, it's not working. We got to keep right on until we see if it's working. And if it doesn't work, then we'll try something else. I said, but the main thing is, I'm not going to try to overwhelm you and give you 50 million things to do. Because one of the things, like we do a treatment plan, and I tell them, I said, I only like to do 1 or 2 goals at a time. I said, because the reality of it is, you can't have all these goals. I said, it's too much. I said, it overwhelms you. And I said, we're trying not to have that part to happen. So let's look at 2 things, 1 or 2 things, and go from there so that we can work it down. And I've had, like, even from the phone calls before they actually have the session with me, and I can feel them how they're going. Then I say, okay, this is what I want you to do before you come see me. Find something that you enjoy. I said, watch a comedy or listen to music. I said, but do not listen to that sad music. Because I had one client, she was laughing. She said, that's what I like. I said, well, you're not allowed to. I said, find something that makes you dance, but not something positive, because when they're talking to me and I can feel it and see it that they all over the place, I say, okay, let's work this the right way.
Okay, so we got this assessment. We on the road now. You're telling me to calm down. I'm calming down. Okay, so here's one question I was thinking about, because it's very important. Because as we talk about mental health, so many people have the stigma about it, especially African American. We don't like to talk about this. We like to keep it to ourselves. And nowadays, people are going through a lot. And so I have you here tonight because I want people to know there is help out there. People will listen to
Yes.
you. People will talk to you. And sometimes I think if it's, you may meet somebody on the street and you don't have time to say all these things, but I believe there'll be something inside of you that can help someone. So my question I was thinking about today, as I'm here as the client, playing a double role, I want to know, what are some symptoms that I'm asking a question as a parent of a client that you should look for to even decide to even get therapy? What should a parent be looking for in a child, or even in an adult, even in yourself? What are some of the warning signs, Ollie?
I would say in a change in behavior, a change in talk, because if a person was positive one moment and then the next minute is so negative or looking so sad, that you just need to kind of find out what's going on and reassuring the person that it is okay to get some therapy, to talk with someone, because we don't know. As a parent, we don't have all the answers as much as we would like to. And just encouraging that person or that child to go ahead and let's go talk to your counselor, your school counselor, or let's go see if we need to talk to someone else. And just assuring the mom or the dad, the parents, that it's not your fault, that this is something else deeper that you can't that you can't do, but this child just needs a little bit more and get those techniques, because therapy is not meant to last forever. It's meant for you to get what you need from it so you can work those techniques. But if you need to come back, there's no shame in coming back. Come on back, because it's best to come back than sit there and be depressed and feeling like the world is about to come to an end. But the main thing is just reminding them there's help. Don't sit there when you see that there's a change in your child. Because the one thing I've realized, there's a lot of bullying going on. And one of the things with schools, especially, you don't have teachers who see that there's an issue, or they may see it, but they don't. They have so many other students in there, or they have some students that are acting out, that they pay more attention to them instead of to those who are quiet or who at one time had straight A's, but now all of a sudden those grades are slowly coming down. But because they are quiet, they don't say anything, but that could be a red flag that something is going on, that you need to have a conversation with and see what's going on, because it's not always that it's the teacher's fault, but sometimes, as being a teacher, sometimes we need to look out a little bit more and be able to talk to that parent to say, I've noticed that something is going on, and I tried to talk to whoever, but they just didn't open up. But maybe if you try, we try together just to see what's going on, because maybe we might need to get them some further help.
Okay, so one of the things I've heard, I want to make sure, besides you said a different in behavior, how do isolation fit in there?
Well, if at one time the child or the adult was being friendly, going out with people, or sitting out there talking with their parents, or husband, wife, whatever the case may be, and now all of a sudden they just want to stay in the room and they don't want to talk to anybody, or they got the lights off all the time, the TV is not even on, or they just steady, or they sleeping all day and not wanting to get up and just saying, I just don't have any energy, I don't feel good, I don't feel like talking about anything. And you just have to look at everything, because one, you don't know if it's a medical issue going on.
Right.
Two, you don't know if it's an emotional issue going on, that we just have to be more in tune and start. I don't mean just be fanatic about it and just steady all on top of people, but at the same time, just pay attention, because most of the time parents have that gut feeling that something is not right with their child, because they know their child. They know, if, wait a minute, now you've been playing games, video games, and you've been on the phone, now all of a sudden you don't want to do anything.
Okay, so
And yeah, you have to be, we just have to be watchful these days
okay,
and check
so
in.
we have established a plan. Now we got some of these questions that most people they realize, but we need to start taking action. You said, especially if there's a change in behavior, we isolate, withdrawn, and all these things. And so now we are now here, right here at Hope and Harmony. We are there. I'm your first client, and so here's my question: after you got all this information about me, my question is to you. Well, how long do you expect this treatment to last, Dr. Brown? How long I got to stay here? How soon will I be well? How soon will I feel better?
Well, it depends on what we're working on. Because one of the things I asked, how often do you want to see me? Is it weekly, bi-weekly, once a month? Like how often you want to see me? And then we talk about whatever that first goal is. Then it's like, okay, we're going to work it this way, and we will start seeing whether or not there's improvement or not. Because you got to have something to measure when you do the goals. Can't just say, okay, I'm gonna stop eating such and such amount. Then we're gonna have steps in there to see if you stop eating whatever it is, whatever that goal is. You got to have those steps leading up to that to see if you have accomplished that. And once we know that we're at a good place, then we can go ahead and say, let's work on the next goal. Because you don't have to stay stuck just working forever and ever, because therapy is not meant to last forever.
So as soon as you see the person and you have assessed that person, and like you said, there are some steps involved. So the steps, how long do it take to accomplish the steps? If you say you got 3 steps. So if I decided I want to come to you every week, so every week, are you saying I should be working on those steps? I should be improving?
You should be working on those steps. But I found out, because I'm the type of person, I like to see movement. And I like to see if you're doing what you're supposed to do. But I also realize, too, that sometimes I have to take a step back, because depending on what that goal is, depending on what that person is there for, that sometimes they have to take smaller steps. I can't just go as fast as I want to go sometimes.
Right.
And I have to pay attention to, if something wasn't done, then I got to just stop for a moment and investigate. And then say, okay, let's back this up. Let's try this step then. And I change it up, because it doesn't make any sense for me to keep trying to move forward when that person needs help to go forward. And so right. I've learned, back it up, calm yourself down so you can help the person. And that's what I do. Because sometimes I realize I got the slow walk with my people, and that helps them to start making steps.
Okay. Do you have availability outside of the scheduled appointment, or should I just don't have the freedom to call you when I feel like it?
No, you don't have the freedom to call me when you feel like it, but I am a little bad. I will tell people if they need me before our next session to call me or text me and stuff. And if it seems like it's more than a quick 10-minute call or something, then we can make an appointment in between, because I don't know what might be happening once they finish that when they finish a session with me. And sometimes I do have clients who will call me and say, I need you. This such and such happened, where we just have to talk it out for a moment. And by that time, when we get off, then they're feeling better. And then they say, okay, I'm good. And then they can wait for this next session. Well, so I don't just like to throw them away.
Well, I think it's important anyway, because there's building trust. And I'm glad that you said that. I mean, you're not trying to make it a habit, but I'm glad that if that person is reaching out to you, that you will take a few minutes or 10 minutes to see what's going on with them. So what is your policy on confidentiality?
That I don't share anything unless it is something that's mandated by law, when it deals with abuse, where I have to, because I'm a mandated reporter, or when I have to share notes sometimes with the insurance company so that they will pay. So those are the main 2 times that if I have to share something, that the clients know that. But far as like if a family member called me, or say the police want to call, or somebody want to subpoena me, then it's not as simple, ooh, here are the notes. No, the client has to do a release of information. And if it's dealing with the courts, then I'll be talking to my lawyer to make certain I'm doing everything correctly before I even talk to the client to say, okay, this is what needs to happen. I'm going to check and make sure I'm following the right protocol.
Well, it's a lot. It seems like it's going on. And so after we do all this, is there any additional resource or support group that you can recommend if a person needs somebody else to help them, or is out of your league? Or what do you do in that case?
If it's out of my league or expertise, then I let them know that we'll find someone else or find the right resource, because I'm not going to go out of my scope of expertise, because then I'm putting that client at harm. And I don't want to do that, because they trusted me to do the right thing. And I will let them know if I cannot do something, or it's that I don't understand it, or they need someone else who can treat them better. And we will be upfront. I will be upfront with that. I'm not going to try to do something that I know I can't do.
Okay, can you just tell us as we get ready to close? And I have really enjoyed you, Dr. Michelle Brown. I just like to know, is there a schedule of what time your appointments are set for? What days you are available?
Okay, I'm still bad at this, but
You're not bad at this.
But when I get off work at 3:30, then I let clients know Monday through Friday I'm available after 3:30. So sometimes it's 4 o'clock. So sometimes I got to come straight home, and I try to do between from 4 to 7 during the weekdays if they need me. And then on Saturdays, I leave Sunday open, but on Saturdays, I tell them if they need me, we have to do a morning time. I say, because I don't go too late on a Saturday. And so, because I like to make myself available, and I know that I'm not available during the morning time since I have my full-time job. But a lot of times clients need somebody after 3 anyway, or after 5. So I will do that. If it's truly someone who cannot make that time limit and they really want to see me, then I will work that out. We will talk about a time that truly works for both of us.
Well, tonight on Keeping You Lifted, my first guest for the new show was Dr. Michelle Brown, the owner of Hope and Harmony Transformation Counseling. I hope that you were able to receive some information. You can keep in contact with her. She will be taking calls. She will be taking new clients. Her information is on the screen, and we will continue to post that information. You can visit her website and read her bio and get some more information about her. We just wanted to try to educate you tonight on something about mental health, because it's very important in this time, in this walk of life. So many people don't know where to go. So many people are ashamed to even let someone know that they need help. Help is available. I want you to know that help is available at Hope and Harmony. Dr. Brown is available. She is an excellent therapist. I know that because she cares about people. She loves people. She puts her heart into it. Most of all, she's a Christian. She's saved. She's filled with the Holy Ghost. So God is going to use her. God is going to bless her. You're going to be in good hands, the right hand, because she's going to tell you the truth. And the truth is what matters in these days and time. So Dr. Michelle Brown, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. And I want to say, you have some final words, anything you like to say about your company or your business, anything else you like to add at this time, you can have the floor.
Well, thank you, Apostle. I just want to reiterate what you said, that I am accepting clients. Come on to Hope and Harmony Transformation Counseling. Is where hope inspires peace and change, because that's what we need, some peace and some change. And I'm here to help you to do that with a non-judgmental attitude, personality, and I do believe we will work well together. Thanks again, Pastor.
Well, I can tell you, you heard it first here on Keeping You Lifted. I'm telling you, we had Dr. Michelle Corbett Brown. And I'm telling you, get ready. She's available to take your call, to help you out in any way she can. And this is a good way to kick off the first show. And I'm so proud and I appreciate your time because I know you're a busy lady. So you be blessed. We will continue to pray for you. We believe God is going to give you so many clients, you ain't going to know what to do with them. But because the blessings of the Lord making it rich and he asks no sorrow, and he's going to just do a downpour in your life. We will continue to share your information so people can get the information about Hope and Harmony Transformation Counseling. I'm telling you, in this day and time, we never know. And first of all, I want to say, what is your age limit as we close? What is the age limit that you do accept clients? Do you have an age limit?
Well, right now it's only adults and couples, and the adults have to be out of school. So no school age adults. Like sometimes some students are 18 and still in high school. I can't take you until you actually graduate. But other than that, I take the adults and couples.
Well, praise God. And you will have some adults in comfort and many school kids as soon as they graduate. Blessings to you. You have a enjoyable night. Thank you again for being our first guest on Keeping You Lifted. It's been marvelous, been awesome. We know we have some great valuable information. People can continue to contact you and look up your information. And I know they will be blessed about what God is going to do in your life. Thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
We'll talk real soon. God bless you.
God bless you too. Bye.
Bye. Well, that's our show for tonight. I'm telling you, we are here. Keeping You Lifted is coming back, and it is back. And so our shows will be on Monday night, the second and fourth Monday of each month. We're going to have a show in September. Next week, we'll come back on September the 25th, the fourth Monday. We're coming back in October, the second and fourth Monday, and then November, the second and fourth Monday. And then I'll tell you, we'll take a break. We'll be doing some shots from location. And we're just going to do what the Lord says. I'm still inspired to keeping you lifted on the air to encourage people because God, he blessed me with this. He birthed this in me in the pandemic, and I have to obey God. So I thank you for all your comments, those that tune in tonight, those that will watch the broadcast later. But tell somebody that Keeping You Lifted is back. We're here every second and fourth Monday at 6 p.m. And I'm your host, Apostle Hilda Stephens-Antione, and I hope you enjoy the first broadcast. I love you so much. Thank you for your prayers, and thank you for tuning in. God bless you.
Never been more uplifted, never been more encouraged.